Hello, I'm Ken Denison. We're here on Lake Union in Seattle, Washington to give you a beautiful tour of this Codecasa Invader. Invader is 164 feet by 31-foot beam. She was built by Fulvio Codecasa along with the owner and Pat Marine surveyors. Come on aboard and we'll take you through it. A specification-driven build like this one doesn't miss the minor things or the big things. Something like this, a pocketed passerelle that can drop down to the water for your tender or dockside like it's used here, can cost upwards of $200,000. It's a small detail, but it's one that when you're in a spot like this, it really makes boarding easy. And it also shows the sophistication of the owner that built it. So we'll begin the start of Invader here on the aft deck. It's very spacious. One of the things that's very, very indicative of the yacht's build is the attention to the detail that was specified by the owner and Pat Marine. Many times, these builds require either factory specifications or, in this case, factory and outside surveyor specifications to bring them to the standards that the owner wants, and so there's no question when the boat is finished. Invader certainly conveys that in every level. The details, as we said before, have to be specified. And in this particular case, one small detail, but to the discerning eye, it's very evident. The railings on this boat, the stainless steel railings, they gradually get smaller as we go up each deck. That creates, in effect, a wedding cake look that makes the boat have balance from when you see it from a profile. It's very important. It's subtle, but it's there. We're now moving forward into the main salon. The amount of detail that's involved in Invader's interior is absolutely extraordinary. It's in the cofferdams, it's in the ceiling, it's in the floors. As we walk through, take a look at some of these and the combination of the woods that they use along with the marbles and onyxes. As you enter the main salon from the aft deck, you enter to a sitting room. This sitting room is very, very nice because you can use it before or after dinner. It has pocket doors on either side so you can make this completely private, as well as a pop-up television that can either play into this room or into the dining room if you want to. As we move forward, we go into the main dining room, which can seat comfortably a dozen guests. As you can see in all the spaces on the main deck, there is a theme with onyx floors surrounded by pear, cherry, or mahogany. All the countertops also have inlaid onyx as well to continue the theme. Another set of pocket doors from the dining room gives Invader a privacy factor that you can either have it totally closed or have it completely open. As we move through and go forward, to our left, we have an elevator. This is the elevator entrance to all of the decks. As we move forward, we have a powder room to starboard, and then we move into the formal foyer of the boat. As we come into the master suite, we enter an office. The owner's office with couch and desk, as well as a library. Going through this area, we have a closet to our left, a seating area, as well as the entrance to a his and hers bathroom. Right directly behind us, we have an additional desk and an additional closet. Flat screen TV is here, and speakers are in the ceilings for surround sound. The master bath is exceptionally large. You have not only his and hers heads, but his and hers showers, the port side having a steam bath in it. There's a centerline jacuzzi, as well as his and hers sinks. One of the details that I'd like to point out here in Invader that would go by a lot of people without notice are these portholes. Throughout the boat, these port lights have special stainless steel weldments that have not only the stainless steel of the light itself, but the entire light is placed within the hull on a stainless steel backing plate, giving it extraordinary strength, but also all of the nuisance and maintenance that bubbling can occur on paint. That had to be specified in order to get that particular detail. Invader has also a very special design feature that's very important for a lot of people. Just outside of the master suite is the entrance to the 6th cabin. Very important design feature, not only for charter, but for those people that would like to have security, a nanny, or a nurse on board the boat. It's right around the corner. Inside the 6th stateroom, you can see it's now being used as a gym, but the ability to convert this room to almost anything is really important. Have upper and lower bunks that are Pullman that fold down. We have a full head shower and sink adjacent to this. Now let's go down below deck to see the guest suites. We enter from the main salon down into the guest foyer. It's a very simple, understandable layout with an elevator anchoring the end, a guest bar here for breakfast, coffee, and 4 staterooms. The forward staterooms are the twin rooms. Each of the twin rooms has head and shower, as well as a Pullman berth. The 2 king suites aft have ample rooms. They also have full tubs and showers, as well as head and bidet, and ample closets and full AV accessibility. As we come up from the foyer, we enter the space to the Sky Lounge. To my right, the powder room for this space, the captain's cabin here, as well as a very important feature, the steward's pantry, which has a full galley up here to serve just this deck, as well as the elevator space, which is right here. And as we turn the corner, we have also probably the most used part of the boat in any of these boats is this upper Sky Lounge. It's enormous. This particular boat has a design with lowered windows, so when you're seating, you get to see out and to see where you're going. We have TV here. All this cabinetry is designed so you can hide this feature if you want to. You can also have a nice small dining area here for intimate groups or just cards or games. The bar is full stand-up. The bar can also act as a buffet for whatever dining you have here. Typically, this is where drinks are enjoyed before dinner. As we're leaving the Sky Lounge forward, we're entering into the working part of the boat, the radio room and the helm. I'll let Captain Patrick tell you more about that.
The bridge on board Invader is accessed via 2 entrances. The predominant guest entrance, which passes by the radio room, as well as the crew entrance, stairs which lead past the galley. The galley is part of the crew area as such and has access to the main salon, as well as the crew area and the stairs up to the bridge. The bridge design itself is very practically designed with 3 captain's chairs, as well as a settee at the aft, which is a great vantage point for any guests that would like to come up and experience the bridge. Over my past 7 years of working on Invader, it's really been a labor of love for me to try and keep it maintained at the best possible standards. We've been fortunate enough to have a very stable crew over these 7 years, and we've taken on some large projects which has allowed us to really keep on top of the maintenance, and I think this is evident for anybody that wishes to come and look at the vessel.
We're leaving the Sky Lounge to go to another enormous deck. This deck has another dining table, easily seating another 12 people, plus seating all the way around it. The dining here is all covered, plus we have an additional extension here of an awning. It keeps the sun out from all the seating in the back. The last deck is the best deck, and that's the Sundeck. The Sundeck on any yacht is one of the most preferred places to be. After all, you're on the water. This particular boat has an enormous Sundeck. It has dining, it has club seating, it has a crow's nest and a bar and a hot tub. Aft we have all the sunning lounges, dining here for 6 on a beautiful teak table, bar to starboard, and as well as a hot tub to port. As we look down on this deck, we have a special crane for special usage for jet skis or MOBs, as well as tie downs that are integrated in this deck so you don't see them and you don't run over them with your feet. As we move forward past the bar, we see this enormous mast that also has a crow's nest on the top. But most importantly, on either side, we have 2 club areas to get out of the wind and have another teak table, another sitting area. And beyond it, you'll see on either side more sunning pads. But here, an important feature which a lot of boat manufacturers don't do is come in and build an enclosure so this elevator can come all the way to the top deck of the boat, which is very important for a lot of people. One of the options on a boat like this that's really useful and the owner loves is another seating area right here forward to get a real crow's nest view. Invader has an enormous forward deck for seating as well as umbrella to put this area into shade. It's a great place to come into a harbor into an anchorage and enjoy the day. As you move aft, one of the things you'll see right here that's hidden, but it's in the spec, is stainless steel used for the cap rail. This is an enormous advantage in maintenance, and it's one of the things that you have to dictate into a specification to get. We also have a secondary access for the crew only to get up and down to these decks. I think you can get a sense of the size of the beam and the enormity of this. It's much larger feel than a 50-meter, most 50-meter boats. The tender garage may be one of the best parts of the boat, along with the engine room. This boat has an enormous tender garage and bay for all the toys, for the jet skis, as well as the main tender. As we move forward, going into the engine room, we have the engineer's area. This is a fully air-conditioned space with glass for the engineer to monitor this when the boat is operating. The heart of any yacht is the engine room, and Invader really shows the underbelly of a very finely constructed yacht, one that's been specified properly and really put through an enormous amount of care and feeding. These are 35-16 cats, the big cats that push this boat almost to 18 knots, but cruises comfortably at 14 knots. It also has Northern Lights generators, as well as any number of systems that are thoroughly described in the specification. And we ask you to look at those specs. You'll see the enormity of the specification and the amount of systems that are on board this boat that we really feel makes this a really perfect yacht for anyone that wants to do serious world cruising. Anytime you're looking at older boats, one of the main criteria you have to look at is maintenance and the number of owners that it's had. Invader is an amazing boat in that it's had one owner its entire life. But more importantly, that owner understood when he built the boat how he wanted it built and then proceeded to maintain it to be factory fresh and new its entire life. Small details like this are part of this particular boat and make it special and make the specification of this boat so important to the next owner who's going to enjoy and love Invader.